Pops up. Oh, no. Thought about it too late. I think I got it. Yeah. All right. All right, this is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Should got my microphone lined up here. Yeah, this is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Kind of running tight again as always, but got a few things to rap about in just the right amount of time. Had a rough weekend, celebratory of sorts, so got to recover a little bit. That's what the sniffles and all that's from ripping and running. But not as so much as the sports world was ripping and running over the weekend. NBA closed out its regular season yesterday with a lot on the line in the Western Conference. I'll get back to that in a second, but it's the reason why I asked the poll question, can the Clippers win the West? Very interesting question. And when you think about the logjam that is the West, it's going to come down to who can show up when it counts the most. And when I watched Golden State play the Clippers yesterday, the game went into overtime and the Clippers pulled it out. I hear Draymond Green always talking about he's the defensive player of the year, but when the game's on the line and the most important game of the season for seeding, I look at his stat line, all he got is 3 rebounds. How can you be the defensive player of the year and not have a complete game? I can go out in the NBA and just by dumb luck, the ball might come to me 3 times and I get 3 rebounds and I'm not making a cent. How is it that he can't get no more than 3 rebounds? He's supposed to be this mega star on the defensive end. That does not compute for me. And is the reason why some teams are going to be advancing and others not. I think if Draymond could produce a little more on the defensive end, maybe that would made the difference yesterday in that pivotal game against the Clippers. So be it as it may, Golden State now is going to have to play in that tournament, that play-in tournament, just to make it to the playoffs. Right now they slotted at the number 7 seed, and if they get by this first round, then they would be slotted against Houston in the first round. Now, Houston gave them some trouble defensively last time they played, but that's just a snapshot. You can't really go by any of that until the series start. Then you start making your adjustments, and it's going to go from there. But if anybody's really paying attention to how sports work, if I'm Golden State and I played Houston 3 or 4 times this year, I got an idea about what I can do against Houston because I've been putting my game plans together the whole time. And because I've been putting my game plan together the whole time, I know exactly how I'm going to attack these people. And then when you add the fact that Jimmy Butler is in the fray, it's going to be a completely different matchup. Now, I've been on Jimmy Butler's case because when I look at the stat line and I see Steph Curry's got 40 points and he only got 10 points, that don't compute for me. You can't win a championship like that when you expect one guy to pull you through. Well, yesterday, in the last couple of games, Butler's been playing some good ball on the offensive end, and he's been contributing. And if they continue to play like that, Golden State's going to be a tough out. They lost yesterday, but I think they will bowl pretty well against the Clippers if they will go to a series. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. But can the Clippers win the West? Well, not only is Jimmy Butler picking it up for Golden State, but Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, they're a potent pair. But what makes the Clippers dangerous is the emergence of Zubac, Ivac, or whatever his name is. Zubac, big tall dude in the middle. He's getting double-digit rebounds, and he's getting about 15 points a game. If he continues to do that, much in the way that Hartenstein is helping Oklahoma City, that makes them a threat. JC, how you doing, man? That makes them a great threat. And I think that the Western Conference is going to be wide open in the playoffs. And when you start talking about wild cards like Oklahoma City and Memphis, they're going to make it interesting. But those two teams, they're not going to go very far because they're inconsistent. And they don't seem to have enough firepower to keep up with these other teams. Now, even though Houston is a number 2 seed, they don't seem to be doing very well offensively. And if they're going to hope to advance, they're going to have to pick it up on the offensive end. Now, Jalen Green, he was scoring a lot of points previously, but lately he hadn't been scoring a whole lot of points. And they have no prayer if they don't have any production from Green. They don't really have any superstars. And if Green is down, Houston, they might just be in trouble despite that number 2 seed that they have. But since I'm short on time, I want to talk about the state of college sports. Been talking about it for a while, and I told you that college football or college athletics is now really professional. It's just a lower level of profession. And if you didn't know that, well, former Tennessee quarterback Iamaleava, he showed you that. The man had an NIL deal that was in place, and that's what he was going by. But I guess he felt like he outproduced what they were paying him, so he decides he's going to hold out. They had their spring game, and right before the spring game, he decides not to show up. Well, Hypo said, we're not going to play that. You know, there's a point where you can only go but so far with this thing, and they reached there with Iamaleava. But for Iamaleava to do what he did, he had to already been in talks with somebody who can give him a better deal. From my understanding, he was only making $2 million. And for what I understand, Tulane quarterback switched over to Duke, and I think he's getting anywhere from $6 to $8 million. So if I'm a believer, and I look at this guy from Tulane, that is a lower level program, and even though Duke is a ACC team, they're not slated to be able to compete consistently with a team like Tennessee. So if he can get that kind of money, why not me? I'm a quarterback of Tennessee, right? Well, it's all logical. And at some point, if things don't change with NIL, a quarterback from Tennessee is going to be able to get what Iamaleava is going to get. But when you start talking about putting together a football team, it's kind of hard to do when the players are trying to hold you over the fire for a few bucks. So the question is, how long or when does this stop? I don't see it happening no time soon. But what's going to have to happen is Congress is going to have to step in and put some guidelines down for what takes place in college sports. The NCAA is a dinosaur. It's outdated, and it's still trying to hang on to it. But I think it's like trying to cinch grip Quicksilver, and you can't do it. And the NCAA is not long. So it's going to be some other kind of ruling or governing body to take over to get this NIL under control. But on the flip side, if you're a player, why not take full advantage? I mean, what they're doing now, say like Niko, he doesn't get the deal with Tennessee, but he goes to Alabama and get a deal. Then Alabama switch out on him, or he switch out on them, and he never plays it down for Alabama and goes down to Auburn and plays for them. Well, he just got some money out of Alabama, never played it down. He's got Tennessee, the money he's getting out of them, and then the new team, they'll probably start paying him too. So it's possible until things get all caught up, you can get NIL payments from multiple sources. And that's what these players are doing, looking for loopholes. Another thing that they're not taking full advantage of is the professional aspect. You know, if you were good enough to go to pro football after your junior year, you went so you can make some money. Well, if you can make more money in NIL, then, well, you probably can make more in pro football. But my point is, why take the risk of jumping out when you're making NIL money as a junior? You don't have to make that quick leap to the pros after your junior year. Take Carson Beck out of Georgia. He could have went to the pros, but his ride in the pros is going to be a rocky one if he even gets a shot. So what does he do? He goes to Miami. He's going to be making about $8 million. And you can't beat that for 1 year when you don't have to expose yourself to the rigors of professional football. In short, so what if you don't ever play professional football? He's already set. So it's a lot of things to think about if you're in that position as an athlete. But I say you better enjoy it now because eventually something's going to happen where all this stuff dries up. They're still going to get paid, but it's not going to be a wild, wild west situation like what you have now. JC says if Tennessee gives in, it will open the door for all NIL athletes. Well, yes, why not if you're Iamaleavin? I mean, you already got a deal someplace else anyway. So let's see what Tennessee want to do. If you want me bad enough, pay me. And even though Tennessee decided not to pay him, it just opened the door for somebody else to pay him. So it don't really make a difference to Iamaleava. But what it does show you is that the players are not loyal to their teams. So you see all these people go to these games and they're alumni and I played for this team and I care about them so much. Well, the truth is those schools never really cared about you. And now the players are showing that they don't really care about the team. All they care about is the dollar. And they will change an Alabama shirt for an Auburn shirt real quick if the money was right. This is why you have players going from, say, University of Florida going to Georgia. When does that happen when you have mortal enemies swapping players? I mean, when that happens, what you have is a professional league. So that emphasizes the word fan. A fan is really a fanatic. They don't see the truth. They don't care about the truth. This is my team. This is who I identify with. I don't care who's playing for it or any of that. This is my team. Well, I think the fans might want to reevaluate those positionings. And that is a critical question that the NCAA doesn't want considered because it will wreck their brand. Not only the NCAA, but any other sport. And it's all going to come tumbling down once the fans wake up and say, look, man, we just been star suckers. And even though I don't like NIL, when I look closely at it, we as fans are the one who are the engine to everything that's taking place because you got the money. Everything runs off the money. And this is just another example. So we'll see what Tennessee does for a quarterback. I asked the question, can the Clippers win the West? I think if they keep getting production, Kawhi Leonard's getting better. He knows how to win a championship. Harden's been to a finals before. He's playing well. And if Zubac continues to play well, they're going to be a threat to OKC because they can offset everything that OKC does. OKC plays great defense, but there's only so much defense you can play in basketball. It's not like football when you can put a hat on somebody and physically restrain them. You can't do that in basketball. You could play the greatest defense in the world, and the guy still get bailed out by the official calling a foul. I've seen it a lot of times. They will put you on a line with less than a second left to win the game. I think Dwayne Wade against the Mavericks several years back. So the officials, they are the wild card. In basketball, you can. It's just a different game, man. But I think that OKC is still, in my opinion, the best team. And there's some teams out there that can push them, but the matchups are going to make the difference. And I think the matchup with the Clippers, Zubac versus Hartenstein, and the guards, Gilgeous against Harden and Kawhi, it'll be very interesting to see how that unfolds, especially if both teams remain healthy. So that'll be something to watch. But those play-in games start tomorrow. You got 2 on Wednesday and 2 tomorrow. And it's going to be pretty exciting to watch. So until next time, I just want to come on and chime in about this Iamaleava stuff. I've been calling it, predicting it, and it's probably going to get a little bit worse before a fix is put in place. But if you're the player, I say get all the money you can get because you got these institutions over a barrel, and if they want to have great football teams, same thing. What I'm waiting for really is to see it happen in high school. And what's going to happen in high school, you're going to start seeing more and more players shift to private schools because private schools have the connections to get these high school athletes NIL deals. And then when you combine that with the fact that they want to take public money out of public schools to send it to private, well, if you take the money and the athlete, what is going to be left of the public schools? That's a question that must be answered. So we'll talk about those things more in the future. But until then, as always, I got to go to work, man. So you guys have a great day. Like, subscribe. Holler at me next time. If there's no breaking news today, I get back at you in the morning. Oh, by the way, you got my district baseball tonight. I got a feeling I'm going to pull one out tonight. Been playing better. Still, I don't have the arms that I need. So if I get by this game, I don't know what I'm going to do about tomorrow. But I don't care about that. Let's go end somebody's season. That's what we want to do tonight. And that's what we're going to try to do. And I've got a good feeling that's what's going to happen. But I'll keep you posted. And if there's a way that I can film the game and do my scoring like I always do and manage, I'll pull that off. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the morning. So have a great day. This is Sports for Real. I'm out. Later on, JC. Catch you next time. All right, let me check this poll vote. Can the Clippers win the West? 100% say no. All right, have a great day. I disagree. They're dangerous. Better than the Lakers, I would say. Everybody's talking about the Lakers.